At the 14,000 mile mark, I decided to change the chain and sprockets. So I'm gonna go through what those sprockets look like compared to new ones and replacement of the chain. So let's get to that. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. So I have 14,000 miles on my Tuareg. The chain and sprockets are showing where the chain is starting to kink a little. I have certainly taken chains much further, mileage wise, and also condition as far as how they look and the kinking that goes on. But I have a 2,000 mile trip coming up down to the southwestern part of Arizona. And I know it's going to be dusty, dry, just difficult conditions. So it seems like it's a good time to go ahead and change these. So I have a new sprocket that I picked up off of AF1 Racing. I'm going with the standard tooth 42, and I went with the super light one. I don't know how much of a difference it is, but that's what I decided to do. And then I'm going to go with the standard, if I remember right, 15 tooth front sprocket. I had considered changing the gearing in the rear. I have ordered a 43 tooth rear sprocket, but it's still on back order. So the next time I change everything, I will change it to the 43. And I was thinking if I did that, it'll give me a little bit lower gearing when I'm off road, but it is going to cause me to have a little bit higher RPMs when I'm on road. I think it's a little bit of a balance. I was willing to try it. Unfortunately, it didn't come in. So I'm just gonna go with standard. The standard gearing on the bike and go from there. Now, I did not pick up a chain off of AF1 Racing. I thought the prices were a bit excessive. That the same chains that they're selling on AF1 Racing, I could find other places for $10 to $15 less. And I've always had good luck with Tusk stuff. So this is a Tusk gold-plated chain. I'm gonna give it a try. It's an X-ring chain. It was about $80 as opposed to the $120 for an O-ring chain that they had on AF1 Racing. So I will go through the steps of getting everything exposed. There's some plastics you have to take off just in case you also are going to be doing this. You can take a look and see if it's something you think you can do. The current chain is riveted together, so I'm going to have to take an angle grinder and grind off two of the pins in order to pull the plate off to break the chain. I'll go through that. It's not a big deal. It only takes a second to get that chain, to get those rivets ground off. So let's stop talking and get started. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the plastics taken off, which also means the quick shifter, the shift link. So I'm gonna go through that real quick. There's 4 bolts on this frame plastic that is covering up the back of this plastic, and that is a 4 millimeter to take that off. So I'll get that pulled off real quick. All right, next thing I'm gonna do just to move this out of the way, I'm gonna try this, is just to pull the gear shift off. And then hopefully I can just swing this out of the way. And let's see. Yeah, I'll be able to move it once I get this cable off and I get the plastics pulled out of the way. So if you have a quick shifter, the cable is routed through the plastic here, and I'll just peel that out there, and that should give me the ability to move this out of the way. And I'm gonna pull this bolt and the washers out so I don't lose them. There are 3 of these 10 millimeter bolts. There's one here, there's one tucked up in here, and then behind the hose, there is one. So don't be confused. This is a case bolt. This doesn't hold the plastic, but behind this hose, there's a 10 millimeter right there. All right, there's a counter shaft. I don't know. I'll show a comparison between this and the new one I'm putting on. It's not that bad. It could probably go a little bit longer. All right, next thing we need to do is grind off a couple of these rivets. So let's see how this goes. All right, and I can push that out, and take the chain off. Let's get this chain pulled off. Get those pins pulled off. Take a look at the O-rings. And we'll just do it. All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's stiff, but I don't think it was that bad. Too late now. All right, I don't know if you can see that very well, but the O-ring is actually starting to push out. So, yeah, it was probably time. Countershaft bolt is a 12 millimeter, and it is incredibly tight. Just pull that out. All right, I'm gonna clean that up a little bit with a wire brush. All right, there's the two sprockets next to each other. The one on the left is the one I just took out. And yeah, I mean, it has some wear to it. It's not that bad, but it has a little bit of a wave to it. It could go a couple thousand more miles. I probably didn't need to do this. I'm gonna put a little bit of high temperature grease on these splines so that when I am ready to pull this apart, they don't get stuck together from dirt, dust, rain, you know, just all of the things that happen when you got two mating parts, heat, all of that. So I'm gonna get that nice and greased up and then I'll slide it on. All right, I just checked the torque specs on this bolt. It is 38 foot-pounds or 50 Newton meters, so I will get that torqued. Okay, with the sprocket, it is not a standard 6-hole. It is only a 5-hole. So I only saw one choice, and that was to go through AF1 Racing. I looked around to try to find some other 5-hole sprockets. Maybe you can find some. I didn't, so it's AF1 Racing. And then this is a 14 millimeter nut. So I'm going to get started on pulling those nuts off and getting the new sprocket put on. Here's a comparison of the sprockets, the teeth. I did an overlay. It'd be too hard to do it on camera. The steel sprocket's really not worn all that bad. If it wasn't for the O-rings coming out of the chain, I really think that this rear sprocket will go 20,000 miles pretty easily. And the front sprocket as well. There wasn't as much wear as I was expecting. The chain is what is taking the biggest beating. Inevitably, somebody's going to ask me what the torque spec is on this nut going into the drive. And it is a locking nut, and it was basically just snug tight. And I just got it snug tight. Since it's locking, it's not going to back out, and it'll be fine. That's all I've done on all the times I've changed sprockets. So just so you know, that's super easy to change. 10 minutes tops. If you haven't worked with new chains before, they're incredibly greasy, which is why I've got gloves on. They're just packed in grease when they come from the factory. So I recommend these. Anyway, just winding the chain through. I got to make sure I get it through the chain guide down below and above the roller here. So let's just roll this around. Ooh. All right, I'm I'm like half a length. Oh, I need to push the wheel in. Okay. All right, got the chain here. I just need to put the quick link. I just use the clips. I don't have a chain press, so I don't do the rivet ones. The clips have worked fine for me. But the important thing is getting this incredibly greased up, because this is likely going to be your weakest link over time. Getting this greased as much as it needs to, and then making sure you get your O-rings on the insides of this when you put it together. It's pretty straightforward. All right, this plate is a little hard to go on, so I usually just take a pair of pliers to squeeze it on, so it's kind of pressing it on. Hey, chain sprockets are changed. I am in the southwest part of Arizona, and it's really cool here. I love riding out in this area, and I wanted to get it done before coming down here because it's gonna be around 1,800 to 2,000 miles. Looking at the chain was due for a replacement, and the sprockets actually didn't look that bad, as I've said multiple times throughout the video. But it's good practice to change your sprockets when you change your chain. Unless you're on a really tight budget, your chain's gonna likely wear out a lot faster than it would if you just change everything at once. So I think all put together, because I went with the Tusk chain and the sprockets that I went with, I think it was about $180 to change everything. Now, I know you could spend $250+ on a chain. I don't normally do that. I try to keep it more budget oriented, and I wanna see how long the Tusk chain lasts. So anyway, that's what I did. If this was helpful, please let me know that in the comments down below. If you've used this chain, the Tusk Gold X ring chain, let me know what your experience has been in the comments below as well. Remember, you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. So get out and do rides like this. Thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there. It is so cool out here. It is incredibly hot here today. I think yesterday it was 103. I expect it's gonna be that hot today. It is 10:37 and it's like mid-90s. So this is the only shade around my campsite.